Gentlemen, welcome back to the shop. I know it's been a while. Let me just tell you, kidney stones aren't for the faint of heart. In today's little project, we will be building a free 99 brake caliper compression tool. This is the one for the front brake caliper. The rear one needs to be a bit different because the caliper actually, the piston actually rotates due to the fact that that's how the handbrake connects up. But if you want me to show you how to build one of those, I will gladly do so. Let me know in the little doobly-doo down below. Let's get right into it. What you're going to need is a set of old brake pads and a couple of 10mm by, how long is this? 10 by 100, so it's 10 by 100mm mild steel bolts. That's what we're going to need. First of all, so let's get right into it. First of all, we need to get the center marked of these pads before we do anything else. So I'm just going to quickly do that. I'll put a little time lapse where it's boring and monotonous, but you'll get the gist of it. And now we can just center punch them. As you can see, I'm using the back ends of an old set of brake pads. Alright, now that we've got them marked, now we need to get off this old last bit of brake pad compound. What do you call it? Please mask up when you're grinding this off. There's not supposed to be any asbestos in it, but I bet you the stuff that's still in it is not good for you. So mask up, make sure that you don't get the stuff into your lungs, and let's get it cleaned up. Now you might be wondering why two of them, if I've already got one. This one I made previously, I'm just showing you how it's done. And there's going to be two ways. We'll be tackling this in more than one way. So whatever works for you, I'll show you both ways. Alright, let's get right onto it. I'll maybe clean it up a bit better later on. You can basically use sort of any old pad that you've got. The reason for it is these little tabs that move in, that slot in and into the caliper. We're going to grind them off so you can make it work anywhere within the caliper as needs be. Once we're done, I'll show you guys how it goes along. So the next step would be to grind off all of these and make this a universal. Right, so now that we've got everything cleaned up and nice and smooth and all of these lips off, we're going to drill these two center holes out for the bolt. Now on the one, I'll be welding in a nut, so I'll be cutting it to basically to the extra OD of the nut. We'll be welding in that nut. If you've got a welding machine, that it works fine. This one we're going to try and tap through. It doesn't seem that this brake pad is that hard. We're going to try and tap it through and see if we can make that work. I'll get you at the drill press and we'll carry on from there. Alright gentlemen, for M10 thread we need to drill a 8.5mm hole, 1.5 thread pitch. This is not a split point drill, so I can't drill it one shot. So what we're going to do is we're going to pilot them and then go through this one with the we'll finish off the one first and then take it on to the other one. So I'm going to pilot drill it and then drill it a 8.5 and let's see if we can tap it. Alright, let's see if we can tap it. Guys, I will tell you, this is not the most expensive tap and die set on the market. This is, let's call it offshore. But what I can tell you is that this has saved my life more than once. It's not to tap a boatload of holes. It's not engineering grade. It's cleaning up threads, and small little taps like this, hole to be tapped like this, works a charm. You will not waste your money. You paid like almost nothing for it, but worth its money in gold. What we're going to do is this brake pad is 4.5 millimeters now. M10 thread is 1.5, so it should be 3 full threads going through. Let's see what we can get out of it, and see if we can make this work. I'm not going to countersink these holes, as we already don't have a lot of thread in there. I'm just going to take the file and make them nice and neat on top. And there we go. Just going to clean it out quickly. Come on. And then we'll see if we can get a bolt and fit it into it. Alright, and there we have it. You'll see the bolt. I have rounded off the point of the bolt, not the head though. What do you call it? Leave it down and below. What do you call the front end of the bolt? So, but what I did was I rounded it off. The reason for that is, as this presses on the caliper, there's not a lot of contact surface in terms of creating torsional friction. So it'll just press in the caliper. It looks fairly straight, and there we have it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wait till both of them are done and paint them. You don't have to paint it if you don't want to. In essence, this project is done and 100% fit for use, but I'll make it neat at the end of the day. And let's get on to the next one. Alrighty, for the next one, you need to drill a hole that is the OD of the nut. Now this is a M10 nut, which is 17 millimeters over the flat, so on the long side it measures roughly 19. Don't know if you guys can see there. Now I haven't got a 19 millimeter hole saw. Now, I haven't got a 19 millimeter hole saw, but I've got this 18 millimeter little saw that we've got here. Let's try this one and see what we can get to. I can always round off the nut a little bit at the end of the day, but I see this little drill bits loose. I'm just going to tighten that up, and then we'll drill the hole. This thing is screaming right now. I'll get you back at the bench. Alrighty, this is a little tap and die set that I was talking about. Dirt cheap, but I will not. If I had to buy it again, I will buy it again. So let's leave that one there out of the way. But this is all that we've drilled. What I've done is I've just nicked the edges on the nut. Don't know if you can see it there. And now it fits in there, well, almost perfect. Oh, there we go, right on the money. What I'm going to do is I'm quickly going to weld this. I'll make a little time lapse of it. Let's not waste any further time on it. Apologies for the welding machine noise. It's a little buzzbox. What I've got here is a normal 60-13 rod. Can't remember the size now. I think it's 2 millimeters or something. So I'm just quickly going to weld it on, and I'll make a time lapse so that it doesn't take forever. Alright, so there you can see we've welded it all together. Tried to stay out of the threads as much as possible. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a flap disc and just finish it off, and I'll get you back here once we're done. Alright, and that's basically this one done. You'll see the one side I ground completely flat. This is one that's going to sit on the outside edge of the caliper, pressing into the piston. So I just want to have a nice and flat surface there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly clean out the threads once again with my little cheap tap set. clean out the threads, slap some paint on it, and I think I'll get you back at my little truck and my little bucky, and I'll show you how it works. Okay, on a little side note, when you're cleaning out threads that has been welded close to, there might be some BBs stuck in there. Do not go hard on it. If you just wiggle them, 99% of the time the little BB will pop loose, and otherwise you will just break the tap. These taps are not high grade, not high quality, so you don't want to manhandle them, but they're still definitely worth their money. Alright gentlemen, so now I've got the caliper out. Let's see if this thing works. I see that my little Ford Bucky's got a very deep piston there, but I think we can still make it. I'm just going to slide it in here. You see, you can, doesn't really matter where you go with it, it still sits there. Let's start tightening this up. Gentlemen, and there we are. All is set and done. Ready to start turning this back. One thing you must do is remember to check the fluid levels on your little brake fluid reservoir, because that will overflow if you don't check it. So I'm just going to quickly open that up. I'll give you a shot of that right now. Now as I start to tighten it, look at that piston moving back in there. And there we go. There you put pistons fully retracted. If needs be, you might put on a longer bolt depending on what you want to do. But all in all, that's it. That's how it works. Let me show you the brake fluid levels. Alright, as you can see, it's almost at the low level. And now I'm going to compress the other piston, and you'll see how it actually rises. Now it doesn't really show in this film clip, but believe me, it does. In some cars more than other, it will rise up and you will spill brake fluid on all over the engine and your paving and paint work and whatever and whatnot. So please check that. This one is just to show you. This is my old one that I've got, and this one I someone flipped around, and it still works. So I'm gonna compress the piston. Look how far back you're pushing the piston when you're doing this. Hey, sorry. And there we have it, bottomed out. Now you can easily fit your new brake pads back. That I'm going to call it. If you want to see some more stuff, please subscribe and give us a like, a thumbs up on the video. It's always appreciated. And with that, I hope to see you in the next one. And as always, stay safe. Oh, and as a little side note, get yourself a little piece of 8mm rebar, put it on the belt grinder. You'll be breaking a lot less screwdrivers.